Folks, it's Friday and it's the very end of July. Well, almost July 30th. And my goodness, what a difference a few weeks and a summer make. Um, yes, my hair is much more blonde. And yes, it did not grow this much overnight, although I do have pretty fast growing hair. But I begged and pleaded and got some long hair back from my hairdresser. So you're not imagining, that is the truth. Oh, but anyway, so I know you're probably tired of me gloom and doom around COVID. Um, but I didn't do it there a while back for because things were pretty much looking up, and I could really talk about some other things. But unfortunately, things are not looking up right now, and I can't talk about a lot of other things. Case numbers are really, really, really on the rise, not just around us, but throughout the country. Some states have had more cases than they had even at the peak of 2020. Oh, that is really scary. And on top of that, testing is down. You know how it was in 2020. It seems like we wanted to get tested with every single cough we had and sore throat and everything. We were running to get ourselves tested. And that has really worn off. And that's really, really concerning, because this Delta variant of COVID is a very, very sneaky and a very different type of COVID than we had back in 2020. It doesn't manifest itself in the same symptoms. It does things a little bit differently, and we're learning about this. We can't even the best scientists can't figure out everything overnight, so it's a learning that we have to figure out. And yes, there are breakthrough cases with this Delta variant. What that means is those who have been fully vaccinated have gotten it. Now they're not near as sick and don't die, but there are some cases of breakthrough, and CDC has raised the alarm around uh, COVID, the Delta variant, being present in those of us who are fully vaccinated and are unknown that we even have it. Our symptoms may feel like just the summer sniffles or our usual sinus. Nothing to really get alarmed about, but we are what's called asymptomatic, and we may be spreading it inadvertently. So, just a lot of unknowns. Um, as of 3 days ago on the CDC transmission data tracker, our counties, our own counties, were all very high transmission rates, except for Lee and Marlboro counties. Now, that was as of 3 days ago. Remember, this virus sometimes doubles as fast as every week. That's something that's called the R naught. And remember, I've said before that the Delta virus is 60% more transmittable. Well, maybe that doesn't mean anything, but the R naught number is a little bit easier to explain. Back in the early days of COVID, aren't we going to be calling this the early days of COVID for a while? But anyway, back in 2020, when COVID first came out, people were talking about the R naught number for this virus. And it really meant that for every person that had it, every one person that had it, the transmission to as many as two people were possible. So it had a R naught between one and two. Um, and that compares to the R naught of a lot of other communicable diseases. I think measles has a pretty high R naught figure. One person can transmit measles to more than just one or two other people. Well, let me tell you, the R naught number for the Delta variant is 6. I'll repeat that. That means one person can infect as many and it is happening as 6 other people. Now, that's pretty scary, especially if you don't know you've got Delta. And testing rates are going down. That's why you have seen some beefed up scrutiny going on in our sites. People that may inadvertently be working sick, either thinking they're fully immunized and therefore they're fully protected, or thinking that the virus is gone. Virus is not gone, and unfortunately, folks that are fully immunized may not be fully protected. They will be protected from having serious disease or death, but they still can catch it. And that's why we really ask our supervisors, our site administrators to really beef up getting staff who show these kind of low grade symptoms of Delta to go ahead and get these folks tested. We need to know. Let's think about it. If you aren't tested and you don't know, you're infecting 6 other people potentially. Masking is somewhat effective, but it's not 100% effective. So that's kind of what you're seeing happen out there. Speaking of masking, last week I asked that we start this week with back to mandatory masking everywhere at all times. Now, people brought up the question. Now, what if I wanted to have a little group together in my office, a small meeting, less than 10 people, but everyone in there was going to be vaccinated. Everyone in there will also have to wear a mask, as will and has happened at our board meetings. Our last board meeting in July last week, all of our board members and all of our attending staff are fully vaccinated. But the board recognized the very significant risk that Delta is bringing. For our last in-person board meetings, we've enjoyed having been able to not have masks on. But for the July meeting, masks were 100% required, and the meal was takeout. Because when you're eating, you can't wear a mask. So that also applies to us. If the board can do this, I expect each and every one of us to do it. Now, I know you're tired of it. I know you want to eat together. I understand that. But I also understand very clearly the dangers that this virus, Delta, is having. And folks at CARE South Carolina, we don't have that high a number. We have a herd immunity number, but not near as high a number who have been vaccinated. The CDC has called this a pandemic of the unvaccinated. Now, they said that very intentionally because just having the antibodies from having had COVID once before does not seem to be enough to really combat what's happening now. Remember that for those who are not vaccinated and catch COVID, this virus mutates very, very rapidly, and it changes, and it starts giving us more challenges. So that's one of the reasons why it's imperative that more of us become vaccinated, because we don't want to be a little factory that somehow or another catches COVID and then that virus starts mutating and then we get another variant. I don't know what it'll be called next time around. I don't know, Epsilon or something like that, although I think Epsilon name is already taken. What if we get another mutation that our vaccinations don't work near as well? What if we get another mutation that the R naught is something preposterous that we've never dreamed of but could become a reality in future mutations like R10. Ooh, that would be a truly community, well, it would be a worldwide disaster, to be honest. There's a video that just came out today of many of our providers talking about an urging vaccination, much more strongly than we ever have urged before. Because, folks, this, if it's not worrying you, rethink this, because it is very worrisome. All around us, organizations are beginning to mandate masking for all of their employees to continue working. All around us. MUSC, all of their organizations, Florence being our closest. A hospital over in Georgetown, Tideland, it's a big organization. And now our next door neighbor, FQHC, Genesis, in Darlington, and in many other locations, has also now mandated vaccination amongst their staff. If vaccination is the only way we're going to get this pandemic in control, then we have to start considering taking some pretty serious measures. Let me remind y'all that ultimately I report to a board of directors. This issue is coming up quite regularly in every single board meeting. Why aren't we mandating the vaccine? Folks, let me tell you very honestly, as they watch organizations start mandating this vaccine, if they say we expect all CareSouth employees to be vaccinated, then I have to fulfill that responsibility. Let that sink in for a little while. It's happening. It's happening all around us. It is the pandemic of the unvaccinated. And the unvaccinated can lead to even greater risk. The mutation of the virus, the rampant spread, and hopefully, but not, this won't happen, but a mutation around which our vaccinations don't become as effective as they are now. Please get vaccinated. Please get your friends, your families, your kids' schools starting back. Remember, one person can spread this to 6 other people. Wear your mask. Wear your mask at all times when you're indoors, wherever. Don't be out there shopping. Wear your mask. You know, out of all of our counties, the percent of vaccination is woefully low. It ranges as low as, let's see, I wrote this down. Only 26.6% of the folks who could be in Chesterfield County are vaccinated. Now there's a high in Darlington County. There's 35.6% of those who can be vaccinated are vaccinated. But this is tough. So we got to get this under control. We've got to get this managed. We're going to be facing things about which will not be pleasant. Please don't wait. Vaccinate, spread that word. Pay attention to your news alerts. We've started using those quite regularly, but we're going to do our best not to bombard you with them. Stay alert, be careful, get tested, and remember, we're all in this together. Therefore, we all have to be strong together. It's going to be very hot this weekend, but y'all stay safe. Very hot. Stay cool. We'll talk again soon. Bye bye.